and I'm trying to be careful because there is a young lady and a woman here and her younger daughter, prepubescent, that are staying in the house with me, and they're here in the house sometimes alone. And I try not to interfere. I try not to get in their way. So I gotta go to the bathroom now and make wudu, ablution. Yes, they're here. They're here now. And I don't know how to speak in Russian. Condoleezza Rice would do very well in this situation. Yeah, she's fluent in Russian. Huh? Oh man, trying to get my pecker out, right? Because I started urinating in my pants. As soon as I get near a toilet and I have anything and I want to go, I start urinating right away. So I have a headache because I ate too much granulated sugar, which I didn't have in a long time. So now I'm having some sort of headache, some sort of weird feeling, and I'm also out of eggs. And I have butter, but the butter is very the butter that I've been using is very watery. The butter, a lot of water. So what I have to do is take, this water and pour it with my hand, pour it into the opening into my pants, so that it can hit wherever the urine drops may hit, so I can be ready for the ritualistic prayer, which is called the salat. And I could do the ablution and be in tahara because I don't have any other clothes. I could do the laundry, but this laundry, the way the machines that the Russians have here, they don't work very well. So the machines may work, they may not work. Yeah, they're hard to monitor, these machines. Yeah, to know when the cycle is going to start, when it's going to work, when it's going to, very bad situation. But this is the poverty because there's not enough worker housing. I just sent a message to the creator of Apis Core. I have his direct number, as well as the direct number of a Max Schrems, who won the lawsuit or had a victorious lawsuit against Facebook. Something concerning privacy. An Austrian lawyer named Max Schrems. He called and he was shocked that anybody was able to call him. I never called him again. I gotta do the door. So the young lady, that's the woman, that's the mother, so that she can hear that I'm in the bathroom. See, and she actually turned the knob. Yes, so that they can know I'm in the bathroom. Because if you don't make enough noise, they won't know that you're inside the bathroom. See, and sometimes this is the young girl, young prepubescent Russian girl, very pale, complex. I don't play around with people's families and children. Now, I take these things very seriously. But yet, I have been sold to the world. As Lee Hsien Loong had a talk with BBC Hard Talk, he said the only people that we have detained and exposed are people that were radical Muslims and Islamic extremists. They were actually Islamic extremists, meaning from what he was told. So, my operation is a very important operation. It could bring down the entire national security structure. Could be brought down. That's the Super Puma. That's the Icelandic Coast Guard Super Puma. See how it is red? It's a red helicopter. And see how the helicopter is going around. If you look in the distance, the top of the video, and it has the door open. The door is wide open, and then there's a red thing. So you have to be careful when they do these anti-terror operations. But he just passed by here, where I am, with the window open, the door open, where the people would hang out over the gray buildings, which is right in the line of sight of over here. You just saw that. So when they prepare to do their moves on people that is being sold as being threats, see, because what they're doing with this counterterrorism, they're doing a lot of racist social engineering to keep people out of countries, to cut down, and I'm not alluding that Iceland is a part of it, but globally, the Anglo-British, the Anglo-American structure, to cut down economic migration from undesirables and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the people of their ethnic groups who would be considered, or who would be considered street urchins, they're allowed to do anything that they want. Like I have this video of Australian bogans fighting Singapore police. Telling them to go fuck off and who the F for you and all that because they're Asians. They think they can talk down to Asians. People of European ancestry, yeah. But I never disrespected them like that. No, but I was first antagonized by people who might have been government officials, and I might have looked at somebody the wrong way, and then it started a whole mess. And I remember there used to be people that used to follow me based on British and American instructions in Singapore. See, the Singapore thing has to be heavily investigated because it's not the Singaporeans that are the culprits. No, it was instigated by information they were being fed from America and associated partners that would have closer historical links to Singapore, like British or others, who are of a similar Five Eyes ancestry. See, the Five Eyes ancestry are all mostly Anglo-Celtic, Franco-Celtic, Celtic ancestry countries, the Five Eyes, and being that you made one of them pregnant, and the citizens, they take umbrage at that, and that you weren't responsible, financially responsible, and you got to put your thing in a woman, inside of a woman, but you didn't have the wherewithal. See, most women are protective about who they allow to put their thing inside of them. These women, because they got to be stuck with these men's children, and the men, he doesn't have the financial capability, they suffer. The women suffer, they suffer. So what they're trying to do, because I had some political potential, there's a conflagration of an alliance of non-Muslims and Muslims who want to ensure that I never be able to have political, that I never be able to enter politics. And I have a lewdness about me, a sexual lewdness about me, which I was a pornography consumer. Like looking at pornography, looking at the type of women that I wanted that I could never have in real life. Let's make it very simple and get right to the point. The type of women that I desired to marry, I was being prevented from marrying in general. Whenever I access by the Muslims as a whole, who use Islam a lot better than I ever could and have a better physical appearance than I do, were manipulating me and others to prevent me from ever being married to women that would normally give me a chance. I was never given a chance. By Muslims, particularly Sunnah Muslim communities. So what's being done with me now is I'm being kept in isolation by the Muslims. They're isolating me so that I could run into a wall, and then eventually they'll say he killed himself. And what I felt is that what they're doing is all these years was allowed to develop nasty things with the people that I love, nastiness to drive me to suicide, to try to drive me to commit suicide. That my feelings are so wrapped up, we'll drive him into the wall. He'll kill himself, he'll slaughter himself. And then we don't have to worry about him anymore. Once he finds out that we raped her. Oh, she's pregnant, she got multiple kids with another man who's even less of a person than Adam Jabril, which is my name, which I might have to change my name. I'm listening to the helicopter traffic. This is an AS350, but I want to see which one it is. And it's doing the slow hover, because if it's moving, you should be able to see it. See? It's doing the hover and it's doing the circuit over. It's a red one, which is a part of a tourism company, but I don't know if he's doing tours of Reykjavik or whatever this afternoon. I don't know. If they have tourists like that, so I have to be careful being that I've attempted communication with Julian Assange and also Edward Snowden. I have to be very, very, very careful. Yeah, someone told me that today who's a fellow Muslim named Salim. He was a common person. He said, be careful. Yeah, be careful. Here, not from the Icelanders themselves, but from certain, like they mentioned, the shadowy organization called VACR and others that are fascist leaning organizations. I have to be very, very, very careful. Yeah, very, very, very careful here. And how I communicate too with my direct phone lines. I can't even use my direct communications to communicate with people. Anything and devices connected to me, I can't use it. It's very, very disgusting, man. Because whoever is in control of this operation, they want to make a point that they are in charge and that we citizens are nothing. That you are nothing. I'm talking about Americans and others, Anglos of the Five Eyes countries. Yeah, that they are in charge and you are nothing. You are nothing and you better remember it. And know it. It's very disgusting, man. Very disgusting. It's a new slavery out, which my ancestors fought. Slavery all over again now. You know, so they're trying to do something to psychologically agitate me to a suicide. And when I spoke with Kanawar Ruhi, who used to be at Algonquin College, I found her direct number to her relative and spoke to her. The girl was very cold. Very cold, didn't even hardly respond to salams, nothing. This is not backbiting, I'm talking about fact. No salams. You should not be warm when speaking with a stranger, but no salams, you know, nothing, man. And nothing, man. I'm not even gonna go into it, man. Nothing, man. Nothing, man. It was cold, man. It was un-Islamic. Oof, brother. And she's very smart with entrepreneurship, business processes, but you know, it's got to be a combination of both, man. In this religion, what we call this deen. Oh, it's starting to rain too. Wednesday today. Today is June the 8th, Wednesday, and I gotta go out in that rain to try to get some food. Try to get milk. I gotta go out there, or I'm gonna get sick. So let me hurry up and do the ablution, do the Zohar prayer, and then I gotta go out and ask the Christian brother, could I have some milk? I have to go by. What's the name of the place? Go by 1011 to take a photograph or something so he could see it, what it is that I need. They have stocks and stock. People give them stuff every single day. Food, fresh daily. And they don't even finish all the stuff. He told me, no, some of it they got to throw away. A whole lot of it, they have to throw it in the garbage. So I got to go and ask them for that. Oh, I'm going to become sick. I feel myself getting sick because I'm not eating properly. No, and the only community which no one has called, and they have my number, the Ahmadiyya. The Ahmadiyya now that the Dia Yassin of the Roland Heights Mosque in California, Islamic Center of Roland Heights near Walnut, where Dr. Ahmed Saka, I can't say the Raham on him because I'm in the toilet. Now that he's betrayed me and dumped me, maybe at the behest of law enforcement, we don't know. Maybe at the behest of the LA sheriffs, we don't know. But I know there was a guy named Mike Abdeen, and there was an LA sheriff's operation to antagonize me. And they did it one time with a bus. I was standing. The bus had sufficient space to let another rider on. I had left a talk at the Roland Heights Mosque, which was called "I Can't Breathe," based on the title of the choking death of a man in in Staten Island. The I Can't Breathe thing. So they based on that and used that. They ran with that title. Hussam Ayush of CARE, all these other people there, nobody helped me. Say, oh, your case is complicated, can't help you. Sheikh Yusuf Estes is there, whose brother was John Holmes, the major large penile porn actor. John Holmes was his brother. You know, Sheikh Yusuf Estes. That's something that everybody doesn't know. You know, but I was confided with that information, and the thing is, no help from them. Everybody looks at me with a scowl or scorn that I have the mark of a beggar, you know. And then this Mike Abdeen of the Los Angeles Sheriffs, who was head or point man in the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the JTTF, he would already be filled in about me. And then by presidents, I was respectful, and I was greeting, I was thanking him that even though he has a secular appearance and things like that, that he's there as a liaison for the Muslim community, but he's really there as a liaison for Arabs and for Palestinians, even if he's not Muslim, even if he's Coptic or Orthodox Christian. Yeah, he's there for Arabs, not really for a Muslim, not really for a black thing so much. because blacks are seen as the pariah. Like there's an Afro-American ranking officer in the LAPD who would deal with counterterrorism and Muslim community engagement. He would have information on me. This information being spurs, but mostly that I may be a petty thief and that I'm a beggar. That can't get his life together. That I'm a miscreant is another word. Street urchin, economic parasite. So I'm trying to, God willing, since I'm in here, the toilet, I can't mention His Majesty, I'm trying to get rid of this man and to clear it, but I don't have the resources. So the bulk of the Sunni Muslims or Sunni who have the access to resources have been instructed somehow discreetly to stay away from me, not to communicate. So the only people that are allowed and willing to communicate with me or permitted through this gauntlet, if there is any, is the Ahmadiyya community. I'm just wondering why. And I'm even here because of the generosity of the Ahmadiyya Muslims. If it were not for them, I would be out there in the cold, in the street, in the rain, and nobody would care. And people would ride by in their cars, Muslims, and they would scowl at me, spit at me, they would laugh. Muslims here in Iceland, they would do it. And it's been done. It's very unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. That's why I know that in the future, a massive slaughter of Muslims is coming up. Of my fellow Muslims. If I am even one, God willing, I am a Muslim. I can't say it here in the bathroom, in the toilet, but I know a slaughter is coming out. I know it, man. To the point where Muslims are going to be forced to disavow their religion or their fealty to Islam. Because the secular nation states have a problem with this, with Muslims' fealty to the secular nation state or to the religion of the nation state. Which one? The faith or the deen. Which one you have more fealty to? The God, which I can't say his name in here, the Majesty's pronouncing his name, or to the nation state. Yeah, which one it is? No ifs and buts. You either with us or with, they don't want no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I know that. I know there's a lot of people in the structure that are about that, man. They want to put that pressure on Muslims. I know that, particularly people behind, on the periphery of the Trump administration. They want to suggest that to him to put it, particularly this Mr. Kobach and others. I know that. And people even behind them, even darker than that. I know that. I've known that for a long time. These Muslims out here, laughing, playing games because their skin is pale and European complexion, think they're getting over. Man, they don't know, man.